Guys, what kind of people are living in this world? I should not be laughing because this is sad. Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jocelyn Jam. If this is your first time on my channel, welcome. If you've been here before, thank you for coming back. It's been a couple weeks since I made a video, and so I'm coming out with something, a sort of different video. I like to browse the internet for interesting things, and they keep me entertained, and I thought, why not make a video about the interesting things that we see on the internet? And so hopefully you enjoy this video, one or two of you, because it's not to everyone's taste. So without further ado, I'm just gonna jump right into it and let's have fun. Okay, so I found this on the internet. It's 16 things black people say or do that annoy white people at work and in general. So let's see what those things are. Hopefully we learn something. Okay. Here are 16 of the top annoyances, mild and otherwise, that white people said they felt about black people, mostly in the workplace, but also in general. These are posted verbatim from some lady's Facebook page, her Facebook feed. I guess she asked the question and the answers came in. So the first one is, when you want to be friends with them at work, but there are other girls, other black girls, so you just can't get close because you're just the white girl who is held at arm's length. You get the feeling that they don't believe you want to be their friend. They think we're too different. I feel like we all feel that way sometimes. Like as a black girl, you could feel that way about white people, especially if it's an office full of white people. So when you walk in, you want to go straight for people who sort of you feel like may have things in common with you. It doesn't necessarily have to be the case, because just because people are black or they're white doesn't mean that they have things in common, but you gravitate toward that. I had that experience in college, so it's not, you're not alone, sis. It's not a black people thing, it's a white people thing too. It's an everybody thing, really. So, number two. There have been times that conversation with a black person somehow turns to the topic of inequality. I have no way of truly knowing all the privilege that I enjoy as a white straight male. I just know there are times I'd like to learn more and the door closes. Well, Google it. Seriously. Like, black people are tired of having to teach you the things that they're learning themselves. Like, sometimes they're just not interested in teaching you at that point. And so you can't make somebody, teach you what you think you need to know. If you know that there are inequalities, there are other places, there are avenues that are willing to teach you. You don't want to have to make someone, unearth their trauma so that you can feel like you're learning something from them. Like, nah, brah, it doesn't work that way. You're an adult. Figure it out. The next one is, anytime a black person walks into a room, say a new employee in an office, they make a beeline to the other black faces. It can be disappointing because I may know from advance notification about your hiring that you and I have a lot in common, but I have to work harder to be your friend. Like, you know what? See number one, what I just talked about. There, see number one. The next one is, on social media, a lot of my activist black friends will post complaints about white people say, white people think, white people do, and I always feel like saying, not all white people. Of course we know it's not all white people. Of course we know it's not all white people. Like, really, we know. We know. I'm not gonna go into that conversation, but we know. So, the next one is, I feel uncomfortable joining amazing organizations if prefaced with black, like Black Nurses Association. These are amazing colleagues I want to network with, but I'm not black. Sis, they know you want to network with them. And they do probably network with you outside of that organization, but they need a place where they can someone was just complaining about, black people always coming up about inequalities and that sort of thing. And black people need a space where they don't have to worry about your feelings. They need a space where they can be black nurses, black engineers, and just talk about what their experience is as black people in whatever community that they're a part of. And you don't get to feel bad because they have that community. I've noticed a lot of times when I expect a black friend of mine to follow through or follow up on a conversation, whether it be to contact someone in business or to get back with me with some information, it doesn't always happen. So I would say for me, it's follow through or follow up when conversations are made, but moving forward with something. I don't have a lot to say about that. But that's a generalization, I really do believe. When I was working with children, it seemed more common for black adults to come down on a child for crying or having emotions, particularly when little boys and young men cry, telling them to man up. I know, I agree, that's a problem in black communities everywhere. Like, boys are not allowed to show emotion, and that's a problem in the world in general. We have that whole problem in general with the whole idea of masculinity. And yeah, but I do agree that it is prevalent in black communities. And I know there's an explanation and a history behind that you could always dig up. But it's getting slightly better. Hopefully it continues to, go up and people feel comfortable feeling their feelings regardless of whether they're men or women or anybody in between. The victim. The ones that make any non-black race feel like a dog for what their ancestors may or may not have done during the periods of slavery, and act like the current period non-black races owe them something for it. You may not as an individual owe something, but your government of the United States of America and other governments, Britain, France, who colonized, y'all owe reparations. You all owe reparations, okay? Speaking as if they're uneducated, not accents, but refusing to speak correctly. Like, what is correctly? Okay, listen, linguistics. So you should take a class in linguistics and know that, sure, there are grammatical rules in the English language, but there's also AAVE, there's Ebonics. Like, you have to understand that people are not saying that they're refusing to speak correct English. That's just you need to Google. Google will help you, or read a book about it. Like, if you have a bunch of people speaking something that isn't traditional English, American English, shouldn't you take the time to say, okay, why are they all speaking like this? Like, if you just thought that, if you asked yourself that question, you would say, okay, let me figure it out. And then you would realize that it's not necessarily that they're wrong, okay? So you should check yourself, sis, bro, sis, whatever you are. Poor grammar, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. The next one is funny. It really irritates me that y'all can dance so much better than me. No one who witnessed it has ever forgotten your valiant attempt to teach me the wobble. Dude, I know. I have that same problem. I am not a good dancer, so you're not alone. Not all black people can dance, I assure you. Please don't assume that all white people support Trump, because we don't. I know. We know. I'm sorry for the people that you've met. A white person has to walk on eggshells with caveats to keep overly sensitive people from being offended. That seems to be one thing that black people do, get offended too easily. Sure, you get to tell me that I shouldn't be offended after you offended me because you feel like I get offended too easily. Like, people are allowed to feel their feelings, like people are allowed to feel their feelings, and if someone says you've hurt them, it's not up to you to decide whether you hurt them or not. You know what I mean? Like, we all have different backgrounds, different educations, different cultural worlds that we grew up and live in. So what's necessarily right in one world doesn't necessarily mean it's right in another. And so we have to all learn how to figure out to work with people, to live with people. It's not a black people thing to be offended. It's that you're offended if I say something. Maybe you said nigga. Maybe you said this black people, excuse me. Maybe you said all black people do this. Or maybe you said, you're this for a black person. You're pretty for a black person. You're smart for a black person. Like you say all things like that, people are going to get offended. What do you expect? Anywho, I'm not going to get offended because you said that. Because I will just be proving your point. Yeah, but apparently, these are whole things that some people posted, some white people posted online about their experiences with things that annoy them at work or in general. There's one more thing I'm gonna read before we go because I saw this and I found it really funny and I had to talk about it. Divorce is a sin. Anyone who is divorced is going to hell. Jesus endured so much. Jesus endured so much. So can we. This is a woman, okay? Women, it's a sin to divorce your husband. If your husband beats you, it's out of emotions and love. Some husbands don't even care and look at their wife at all to feel pain or rage. Sis, okay? That beating is a lot of love. Wow. The things they try to teach women out here. That beating is a lot of love. And then she goes on to quote the Bible. Ephesians 5:22-24 says, "Wives, submit yourselves unto your husbands as unto the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church, and he is the savior of the body." I don't see anywhere here that says you should beat your wife, but okay. Being single comes with a lot of disrespect and neglect. So yes, let your husband beat you so you're not single. God made society so we see it and hear. Where's she going? So we see it and hear it. A lot of people saying, leave your husband. Don't leave him. Stay with him. Pray for him. Love him. Even if he beats you, belts you. Love is love. Divorce is a sin. All divorcees are awaiting God's judgment. They have fallen short of God's grace. This woman, what is she thinking? Somebody tell me, because I don't know what she's thinking, what her thoughts are, what her plan is. Like, what? That the Bible says you should go let your husband whip you, beat you with the belt. It's love. It's because they love you. Says you need help. You need to be decolonized. I don't know what else to say. So this guy comments on the lady whose post I just read. So he comments on his post, and I want to read it to you people. All of you asking this poster to leave her husband are fools. Women are their own enemies. He beat her, so what? He tore her clothes, so what? And he soaked her hair in water, so what? All are material stuff. Our flesh is material. You don't know what she did or how she made her husband feel. God gave men dominance over his wife. As long as he apologizes, it is okay. Yes, nigga. He said as long as he apologizes, it's okay. It's not easy finding a husband. Being a wife comes with certain respect in society and also a certain time of grace from God. Oh my God, I'm going to hell. Think well. Maybe you deserve the belting and beating. Think well. I'm not saying I will beat my wife, but she must be punished if she passes our boundaries. That can come with slap. Doesn't mean I hate her. Guys, what kind of people are living in this world? I should not be laughing because this is sad for the women who are going through this sort of shit. Like, this is sad for this person's wife and for the women who support this. But at the same time, it's so hilarious to have someone have the audacity to like write this and put it on social media and believe that they're absolutely right. Like, how? What are you thinking? Like, what are your thoughts? How do you think that it is okay to beat? What did it say? Think well. Maybe you deserve the belting and beating. Think well. I'm not saying I will beat my wife, but she must be punished if she passes our boundaries. Like, what? Are we talking about a 2-year-old here? This is 2 adults. Okay, adults, grown people who have sense. Hey, people. This is 2 adults who are smart and intelligent. And one adult is punishing the other because he thinks his statues of a man, his penis, makes him so much better than the woman. Listen, women. Men are trash. And some of these patriarchy princesses who join them to say ridiculous things like this online and mislead our young girls and young men. We need to make jail sentences for people like this. Send them to prison. While in prison, give them an education. That's the only way to solve this kind of problems. What kind of nonsense is this? I shouldn't be laughing, guys. I'm not laughing because it's funny. Well, it's funny, but you know, whatever. People need help. That's all I have to say. They need help. Anywho. Okay, well, that's it for today. It's really pretty short. It'll get better as it goes on, but hopefully this segment was good and you enjoyed it. Please do let me know what your thoughts were. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, give a like, give a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give a thumbs down. I'd rather you not do that, but go ahead and do it if you want to. Comments, please tell me if you enjoyed it or not. Share with your friends and family for a little bit of a laugh or just a little bit of education. And yeah, I'll see you next week as I keep trying new things on my channel. Thank you for being here. Much love to you all. Mwah. Peace.